And today my adventure begins right here in Oak Hill, West Virginia. A town that is famous for Hank Williams, the country music singer, his last ride. Well, good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch, Hiking, Yeti here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really looking forward to today's vlog. Starting out here in Oak Hill, we're going to talk a little bit about Hank Williams and why he is connected to this area. He's like the king of country in a lot of ways. A lot of people, especially my dad's generation, loved Hank Williams, and we're going to get into a little bit of that, and then we're going to head on to the old coal town, a ghost town known as Thurman. Probably one of the more famous ghost towns, coal towns here in West Virginia. Just got me a coffee here. This is the location. Excellent. Had to support the local coffee shop today before we get our vlog started. If you have a coffee, by the way, cheers to you. Let's go ahead and get started. So if you're wanting to know why Oak Hill is famous in Hank Williams history, it's because Williams was declared dead here. Oak Hill became permanently linked to one of country music's greatest legends. The city has embraced the connection over the years, including dedicating this historical marker in his honor in 2016. So Hank Williams was only 29 years old when he passed away here in Oak Hill. He was on his way to a New Year's Day performance in Canton, Ohio. Several of his biggest hits, including Your Cheating Heart and I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, became even more famous after his death. More than 15,000 mourners actually attended his funeral in Montgomery, Alabama, and even some estimates place attendance even higher than that. So before we leave Oak Hill and proceed on to the town of Thurman, we're going to make a quick little stop at a diner where Hank Williams' body was discovered lifeless. Okay, I've made it. This is called Skyline Drive-In, Hank's last stop. And this here is the little diner where Hank Williams was found passed away in the back of that blue Cadillac. And even look at this sign up here. It says Skyline Drive-In, Hank's last stop. Burgers, barbecue, and hot dogs. That is pretty wild. He was on his way to play at a New Year's Day performance in Canton, Ohio, when he passed away right here. Some say it was heart failure. All right, so now I've made my way inside, and this here is a picture of Hank Williams. It's in here, Hank Williams' last stop. And they have his death certificate right here on the wall. He was a big drinker, and that led to his demise eventually. And this right here is where he was headed to. This flyer was the show he was on his way to go play at the Canton Memorial Auditorium, New Year's Day, Thursday, January 1st. All right, I think that will pretty much wrap it up here at the Skyline Drive-In. Really appreciate the owner of the drive-in to welcome me in and let me film and show you guys the death certificate and give you a little bit more history about Hank Williams and his passing here. So all that being said, let's go ahead and get back in the car, and we're going to make our way to Thurmond, West Virginia. Probably one of the most famous coal towns in West Virginia. This is going to be pretty epic. It's a historic place. Welcome to the back roads of West Virginia again. And this right here, it's called Thurman Road. And we have to stay on this road for about 6 miles. And at the end of that 6 miles, we should be at least close to the old coal town known as Thurman. I know we got to cross a bridge. I don't know if that includes the bridge or not, but we're getting there one street at a time. And I have arrived. This here is the bridge. Both vehicle, pedestrian, railroad, all use the same bridge to make our way over. to the town of Thurmond, West Virginia, which is one of the most fascinating railroad ghost towns in America if you did not know. Nestled deep here in the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve. It was once one of the busiest railroad towns on the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway and one of the richest communities in West Virginia. Anytime I think about rich communities in West Virginia, video I did several months ago, it's a town called Bramwell comes to mind. It was called the Town of Millionaires, all made on the backs of coal miners. Yeah, what a shot this is. Look how beautiful the New River is. It is just that clear, cool mountain water. It is just gorgeous. I imagine the rafting down through here would be a lot of fun. Never went whitewater rafting before, but being up here seeing this river makes you want to try it. It really does. I'm actually on this little overhang right here to get out of the way of the cars when they drive across. I could have easily drove my car across here, but I wanted to just park. They got a little parking lot right over here on the left-hand side. That's where I parked. Now I'm going to continue on. I think it's safe now to keep on walking. Just missed the train. Maybe we'll get lucky in a little while and see the train booking on by. I heard it coming. At first, I got really excited. I thought, I'm gonna be on this bridge with the train like right there. Oh my God, that would have been so rad. Probably a little spooky. I'm sure a big old train going across these bridges make it vibrate and shake quite a bit. But nonetheless, man, I would have just held on and prayed and it would have been okay. Okay, and right here along the train tracks, you will find the old Thurman train depot. And now I think it's a good time to get into a little bit of history because we have quite the walk ahead of us as we have to walk to the right-hand side of these train tracks to make it down to the town itself. So this here is the pathway that follows along the train tracks that we're just gonna utilize as we walk toward the town. And I can give you a little backstory about this town. So the town is named after a man by the name of William Thurman, who acquired the land in 1873 when the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway reached the New River Gorge. Thurman became a crucial hub for moving coal from southern West Virginia mines into the markets across the country. Okay, as I'm walking along here, I had to pause just for a minute because this here is the United States Post Office of Thurmond, West Virginia, zip code 25936. Now we can continue on with a little bit more history. By 1910, Thurman was booming. More than 4 million tons of coal passed through the town annually. 15 passenger trains stopped here every day. The depot handled as many as 75,000 passengers a year. The town had 2 banks, 2 hotels, restaurants, stores, and a movie theater. And something else, the banks were considered among the wealthiest in West Virginia because of the coal industry. So one of the more unusual facts about this town, for decades Thurman had no road access. The railroad that we are walking next to was the town's only main street. Businesses faced directly onto the tracks, as we see these old structures right here are doing. And this is awesome. Look at that old house up there on the hill. Yeah, that is so creepy, it's good. Look at this. And this here looks to be one of the banks. New River Banking and Trust Company. Depository for the state of West Virginia. That's pretty cool. Oh, look. Newspaper clipping of some sort. Oh, this is cool. I love how this is laid out. It actually tells us like where we're at, what it looked like back in the heyday. Yeah. Oh, and that ghost sign, we can actually see what that reads. It was a drug company. Druggists, sundries, prescriptions. Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, I thought I'd come back over here and just look at that old ghost sign that we just seen in that picture, but see, today it's not really all that readable. But at least we had a little piece of history, like over there on that paper clipping, to show us what it used to look like. Okay, so we just looked at the new river bank, which was built in 1904. And then right next door is the Goodman Kincaid building, which was built in 1906. And then this big brick structure right here is the National Bank of Thurman, which was built in 1917. And we're going to just walk across here and check it out. It's just mind-boggling to be out here and see a town that's just sitting here on railroad tracks. No real main street, just the railroad tracks, really close to the buildings. I bet it rattled this place back in the day when the trains come through and you're inside trying to make a deposit or something. But yeah, that is this is pretty cool. Look at this right here. U.S. State, County, and Ford Motor Company Depository. Yeah, I like this bank. That is epic. Man, the no-see-ums are out. They found me. They followed me all the way up here from Georgia. And this big structure right here along the train tracks is the old coal tower that was built in 1922. And you can even see the date stamped into the side of it. Right up there. C&O 1922. It's a little chipped away, but nonetheless, that is another fascinating structure that I've never seen until this moment. All right, so I made my way down the way here. They actually have an old house here that they're actually renovating for some reason. And there's some homes up here on the hillside. Everything is pretty much abandoned. This is a real ghost town. There's like zero. The census report from a couple years ago is like nobody. It said zero. I had to go back to 2020 census to find there was 5 people living here. But I think they have all since moved out. So I don't think there's anything now. And this old homestead right here is Sid Childers and Margie Richmond's name on it. And I'm sure those names might have some meaning, but I've never heard of them before. Don't really know who that is. And it looks like there's a few more homes right around this corner. Some more homesteads. As you see, there's one right up there, up that driveway on the left, and then you got this little place right here. I was really hoping to find the Hotel Thurman that I seen on that little map, but I think it's gone. For sure, I think it used to sit right next to the bank that we was looking at. This here is the Maryland Brown House. All right, so I'll walk down here about as far as I'm willing to go. And this house here was monstrous, man. This was cool. And they've actually been down here like weed eating a little bit. Maybe clearing out a little walking path. Go up here and see who used to live here in this place. Fatty Lipscomb House. And all the windows are boarded up and completely shut down. Nothing happened here. So as the historical population goes, in 1910 there was about 315 people living here. At its peak population, which was 1930 census, there was 462 people living here. And by 1980, there was only 67 people living here. And then when you go on down to 2010, there was 5. In 2020, there was 5. And here we are in 2026. And everything I could find online, 0. Big old goose egg. Completely abandoned now. Nobody lives here no more. So before we leave, I'm going to try to get close as I can to the location where this Dun Glen Hotel used to be, because it was a pretty good story goes along with this hotel. Just outside of town, this hotel stood and it became notorious for gambling, drinking, and rowdy behavior. According to local legend, a poker game there lasted 14 years and was later recognized by Ripley's Believe It or Not as the world's longest poker game. And right here is the grounds where the Thurman Hotel used to sit. This is it. Now this is not the one with the world's largest poker game, but it might be glary. If it's glaring, I apologize, but the sun is very bright today, very prominent. But it used to sit right here next to the bank. And I absolutely love that bank building, man. That is just so cool, so awesome. But this here is the location for the Thurman's Hotel. All right, so before we leave this area, I just wanted to take one last look of everything. You got the depot, we got the post office, we got some homesteads. Now there's more homesteads. It's like scattered up these little roads up in these woods. But yeah, right there is the main town area. Those are really cool, historic looking buildings. I think my wife enjoyed this today. She had fun hanging out, looking at some of this cool stuff. Can't believe I finally made it up here to Thurman. It's been a long time coming. Quite the adventure today. And I gotta say, I appreciate you guys for taking your time, coming along with me on these little adventures, checking out neat places, awesome places, historic places. We do a little bit of everything here on the channel. Okay, we're gonna walk inside here. This here is the baggage area. And this here's what baggage used to look like. They kind of got a recreation, if you will, of how the baggage was stored here at the depot. Somebody's bag, and look at all those bags they got nestled in over there. That's the way it would have been back in the early 1900s. All right, it is quite warm today, by the way. It's warm, about 83. All right, so I made my way inside of their gift shop area, or the visitor center, and look at this. Look, he's in there. We got a mannequin in there, getting you all fixed up, getting your ticket ready to go for a little train ride back in the day. Okay, so I just went in the visitor center and got a little bit more information about the Dunglen Hotel. And the young lady in there told me that the Dunglen Hotel actually burned down in like the 1930s. And she said now what's left over from the burnt hotel is right over there beyond those trees. And she said that's their maintenance area now. So, and then I asked her, well, I was interested because of this 14-year poker game that supposed to have been the world's longest poker game. I thought that was kind of fascinating. And she just grinned and smirked and said, well, you know, she goes, it might not be a 100% true story. And I said, well, that makes sense, because me and my wife was talking about it, and we was thinking, like, how the heck does a poker game last 14 years? And she said that's how the town managers, the people who was running the town of Thurman, they wanted to give it that old Western vibe of that, like, run and gun, partying, drinking, playing poker, you know, some wild stuff to draw tourism in, to make more people want to come and be a part of something like this, the world's longest or the world's greatest of anything, you know. So that's kind of what happened. So that makes way more sense now. And so all that being said, I think that is going to kind of put a bow on my video today. I had a great time here in Thurmond, West Virginia. Really cool little place to come visit. A lot of people comes here. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful West Virginia day. Look at those clouds. It's warm. It's a little warm. About 83, something like that. Absolutely gorgeous day. But all in all, it was a fantastic day. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. Until next time, I'm the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you on my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. And as I like to do at the end of the video sometime, let's say so long. Number one, the New River, the beautiful West Virginia mountains, and the old ghost town of Thurmond, West Virginia. It was awesome. Had a fantastic time. Now let's go home and take a nap. Y'all have a good one.